This game is brought to you in part by the Pepsi-Cola Company. It's the Cola. By HSBC, the world's local bank. By the New York Lottery, New York Mega Millions. Dream bigger. By JetBlue Airways. It's not the only way to fly, but it should be. And by FYE, for your entertainment. Welcome back to the Pepsi Arena here at Albany, New York. Our championship game of the MAAC Women's Conference. The seeds, Marist number 2, Canisius number 4. And now we take a look at the starting lineups. They're brought to you by I Love New York. Show your love for New York State. Start with the Golden Griffs of Canisius. Lonnie Brown, a senior, starting in her 60th consecutive game. Jess Steeves, she's the 6'3 sophomore. Becky Zach, we talked about her at the top. Janelle Stevens, the MAAC Player of the Year. And Sherry Whitlieb, excellent three-point shooter. For Marist, it's Del Priori, Velarde, and McGarity on that front line. Vecchio and the freshman Kresge set up the backcourt. Marist got here by winning the 2 games they were forced to win against Manhattan and then St. Peter's yesterday in a gutty performance. Meanwhile, Canisius in the playoffs with the wins against Loyola and, of course, yesterday's win against Siena. This is how the Red Foxes did it. Tough win against Manhattan, had to gut it out, 60-49, and then yesterday a very physical game against St. Peter's.
Oh, they beat each other up most of the ball game.
Red Foxes enter this game at 19-10. They are co-champs of the MAAC regular season with Siena. For Canisius in that second round, they had a tough one against Loyola. Had a 16-point lead, saw it melt down and had to win it in the final 45 seconds. And then in the semifinals, taking on the hometown Saints and knocking them off by 9. As the Golden Griffs get together there at the foul circle. First time in the finals for both teams. A lot of excitement in the air.
Well, the crowd's excited, the coaches are excited, the kids are excited. This is a first for all of them. They're playing great basketball. 2 teams deserve to be here. They've played their way into the championship. At the end of the day, one of them is going to stand up tall and call themselves the MAAC tournament champion.
Up to just last year, Marist had never won a game in the MAAC tournament. There you see the Golden Griffs. The head coach is Mike DeSillis, and he's announced prior to the season he's stepping down after their final game, and he hopes it's not today.
Well, what a way to finish a career. Taking a team to a championship, perhaps to an NC2A berth, and then saying, you know, I've had enough. I've had a great career. I'm going to go out and play some golf. But I'll tell you what a terrific job he's been doing. His record speaks for itself. Anyone that can step aside at the 600% means that every time he's stepped up, he's hit the ball out of the park. It's pretty impressive, and he's done a nice job. Kids seem to love playing for him.
Former head coach at Nazareth College in Pittsburgh, New York, a Division III program. Foxes break out of their huddle, and the seniors will be counted on throughout the day from the Red Foxes. Let's take a look at the coaching matchup. It's brought to you by Anaconda Sports and The Rock. Mike DeSillis off to the left in his 6th year, and Brian Georges, the MAAC Coach of the Year this year in only his 2nd season.
Well, what a way to start a career. Turning a program around and getting a chance to play in a championship. He'll know what it takes to get here. The wonderful thing will be, knowing him, it won't be the last time he brings his team here.
Rebecca Lobo's in the house, and she'll be joining us during the course of the first half. The 1995 NCAA Woman of the Year. Good to see her. Of course, she's participating in the MAAC-sponsored Girls in the Game program. She'll be stopping by again in the first half. We're underway in our championship game. And the officials conferring, and they say blue ball.
And they're already talking. Coach Georges is already trying to establish rapport with the official.
Zach working against Vecchio. Now they set up outside. And a kick on Velarde.
Both teams will start out trying to establish a tempo, trying to establish a style game. The team that establishes their style might really be the team that dominates in the game.
Ball down there by Del Priori. In the tournament, she's averaging 8.5 rebounds. Kresge along with Velarde, Del Priori, Vecchio, and McGarity start out for the Foxes. And with Kresge being in the starting lineup, they've won 12 of the 15 this year.
Well, Kresge was forced to sit a good number of minutes yesterday against St. Peter. She got in early foul trouble, but she's really sparked this team. Last 12 games, it's been Kresge that's brought them around.
First the lead of the game goes to the Red Foxes. Velarde, who was scoreless yesterday, gets 3 there. And the throwaway.
Well, we get a chance to see two feisty guards play one another in Vecchio and Zach. Vecchio worked awfully hard yesterday against Gonzalez. She might be a little tired as game goes on.
The cutters, McGarity against Steves. 5-0 Foxes.
Well, they've certainly got themselves off to a good start.
Marist got down yesterday 5-0 to St. Peter's, and then themselves went on a 13-0 run. Steves working some magic inside with Zach.
It appears as if a guard stepped in and fouled as she made the cut to the basket. You don't want teams to get in foul trouble today.
As they meet for the 18th time, Marist 10 up. Canisius with the 7 wins. They split earlier this year, meeting only one time earlier in the playoffs. 2001, an opening round game that Canisius won.
Well, you know, the games that they played early on in the season, they played a December 5th game. It was all Marist. At Marist, they blew out Canisius from the start. Turned around on February 8th and played again. It was all Canisius. So this is the rubber game and a game that counts most.
First 2 on the board, courtesy of the sophomore, Steves. Marist in the tournament shooting 42%. They want to move the ball inside just like McGarity's doing. Follow McGarity.
McGarity's gotten off to a good start. This senior can play basketball.
And a walk. Vecchio being pesky there at three-quarter court.
Oh, she's like a water bug. She just doesn't go away. You know, she hounded Gonzalez yesterday. And you watch McGarity here, boy. She's tough on the board. She goes up strong. Steve does a nice job trying to stop her, just doesn't box her out.
She's averaging 12.5 so far in the 2-day tournament. Of course, this is the third and final day of the MAAC championship. First time in 6 years, number 1 hasn't played number 2 in the finals. Tipped out there by Kresge.
Marist is making a statement on the boards. They've had their hands on the boards in the last 3 or 4 possessions. We talked about that being a key to their success today, making sure they go to the board strong.
And coming into the game, getting out-rebounded by 2 a game. Brown sets up Zach. Zach's so key to this team's effort. And 1.
And it's the old-fashioned way that she'll get a chance to make a three-point play. She's so tough off the dribble, Dan, and she just has such a great handle. She's quick with the basketball. She's just a sophomore. Look at her. She goes to the boards. She plays like a senior.
They charge it to Vecchio, her first.
Both teams pretty deep, but you wouldn't want your starters to sit down at any point when you need them. So you hope none of them play outside themselves and get themselves in foul trouble today.
Nearly 2.5 gone by. 7-4. Lady Red Foxes. The building is alive for a noontime game.
Well, Marist, lots of red in the stands.
Only about 75 miles away, south of this location, in Poughkeepsie. McGarity for the runner. Lonnie Brown's had a good tournament, averaging 9 rebounds a game. Whitley. And Vecchio again will retake it.
Lots of bodies on the floor going after loose balls.
Tempo favors Marist. Vecchio for the finish, and it's 9-4.
Vecchio hound dogging Zach.
Del Priore with good defensive presence.
And Marist comes down with another rebound.
Kresge getting the start for the 16th time this year. A pleasant surprise as a freshman. Del Priore's feeling it as well. And it's 11-4 Marist.
And, you know, right after the basket, Del Priore gets a hands up from McGarity.
Vecchio on another theft.
An uncharacteristic turnover. This Marist team doesn't turn the ball over often. Coach talks about it, looking at Vecchio now, just telling her to pull it back out, run your offense.
Coach DeSillis deciding to go with the freshman, Megan Light. who had 9 points yesterday against Siena and 6 boards in 20 minutes. And Lonnie Brown is sit down for a little bit.
Yeah, Lonnie Brown's being talked to right now because she's not running the court the way she ran it yesterday. She streaked down yesterday on every possession, whether they scored or not. She's not doing that right now. She's being told what she needs to do for this team to play good basketball.
Just saw Brian Georges campaigning for the next call. Marist head coach had wonderful success at Our Lady of Lourdes High School in Poughkeepsie for many years. Canisius with 13 on the shot clock, and another rip-off by Marist. And 2 back-to-back turnovers now by the Foxes. Whitlead has deep range. Light inside. And the Griffs will keep it with 15:31 left in the first half. Marist has forged out to a 7-point lead. Nina Vecchio has come up with a couple steals already and converted on the other end. 7-point lead for the Foxes. We're coming back on the MAAC Television Network.
Engaging the mind and uplifting the spirit. Embracing new technologies to preserve our heritage. Searching for answers at home and making friends across the world. Marist College, a community of learning, a commitment to excellence.
And welcome back to our championship game. MAAC tournament started back on Thursday, moving into the final round here today at Albany. You'll look at the turnovers. Canisius with the 4, Marist with the 2. And Canisius has only hit one of their first 6 shots.
Well, they're shooting just 16% from the floor. You know, they shoot 41 for the game. Part of it is because, you know, Stevens can do what you just saw there. But, you know, they'll settle down. This is just the first few minutes of the game. They're going to get right back into it. Once they settle down, I think you'll see them loosen up a little bit.
Neither team's been here before. A 3, no, a 2 by McGarity. They say she was on the line.
Well, McGarity is 3 for 5 and doing it all. I mean, she leads with 5 points now early in the game.
Is that Del Peoria, another rebound coming off the double-double of yesterday. Del Peoria, second team all-conference, likewise for McGarity. Set play inside.
Light will get called for the reach. She tried to step in and strip the ball. She does it very well. Official was just at the right place in the right position to see that.
The start of the game in the first 2 meetings was key for both teams. Marist got out to an unbelievable start in the December 5th win in Poughkeepsie. As in that game, having the hot hand, Laura Whitney hit her first 7 shots. Now she's coming off the bench for the Foxes. And then up in Albany, I should say up in Buffalo, as Del Peoria looks to scoot it back in and does. Canisius got out to a 10-0 start. Marist had a call for a timeout, but the tempo had been set, and the Griffs won it by double digits.
Well, they started out strong. The Marist team is jumping out, playing some good defense. And the shots just aren't falling right now for Canisius. They look tight. They're not feeling good about the flow of the game. They're shooting a woeful 15% from the floor.
Zach's been short on a couple of her tries. Had some tough shooting numbers yesterday. Only made 1 field goal. She's been doing it, though, on the assist as well as the free throw line, as Del Peoria's given a break, as well as Kresge. So Marist goes with McGarity, Vecchio, Kristen Keller, Velarde, and Shannon Minter.
Well, Minter played very well yesterday. She did a nice job coming in. She's got good speed.
Too long of a line. So Vecchio's turned it over a couple times here the last couple minutes.
Well, it has made Marist good all year long as they play within themselves. Now, you want them to continue that, because if they do, there'll be a tough handle for Canisius.
Jackie Richards off the bench. The freshman averaging just 2 points a game, and she scores her first 2 in this one.
She's a good matchup for McGarity because she's every bit as physical.
So DeSillis has decided to go with the 2 freshmen, Richards and Light. And McGarity ISO that time on Richards.
McGarity has that look in her eye. She just looks as if she's taking the game to herself. She's going to her strength, which is a nice power move into the inside, and she's strong and gets to the foul line. Good foul shooter.
This year against Canisius, averaged 14 points and 5.5 boards in the 2 meetings. Also a very good free throw shooter normally on the year, shooting 76%. She's a graduate student taking on some master courses now after graduating last May.
Well, of course, she started her career at Boston College, a tournament team, and would like to finish her career to the school that she's transferred at, calling them a tournament team.
Zach for the runner.
Boy, Vecchio is just in her shorts defensively. She's just all over it. That's a great move on Zach's part.
Did you expect Marist to push the tempo like they are now?
No, I'm surprised that they're trying to pick it up a little bit. I would have thought that it would play into Canisius' hands, but it hasn't. They've done a great job.
9-point Fox lead. Richards for Stevens. Stevens a couple field goals and 4 points.
Well, Marist opts always to, when the ball gets in the paint, to double down. Canisius is a good enough passing team to find a player in the perimeter free, and they're good perimeter shooters.
They worked the backdoor cut often yesterday against St. Peter's.
Well, we talked about how the defense would have to communicate, and if the defense didn't communicate, they were going to give up some layups.
Mike DeSillis wants to calm his team down, calls for a 30-second timeout.
He's a very relaxed coach. Doesn't get the only thing he gets upset about is the calls, but doesn't yell at his players. He goes with the flow. He really is kind of laid back, and their style is such. They come at you in waves.
How about Brian Georges in his second year? What's he thinking right now? He went from the high school ranks to D1.
Well, he's not laid back. I'll give you that. And, he has to be careful. Keller here, nice pass inside. Keller, of course, the 6th player of the year, voted this year, and has come in and done the job. Big, strong. We take a look. 6th player of the year again, 2004. Came in, played at Lord's High School, was recruited not by Coach Georges, but was very, very happy to join her again. And she's had a heck of a year. And she's going to have a great future because she's a step-in player for McGarity and Del Fiore.
In fact, Marist's former coach, Kristen Lamb, is here watching today, and she recruited a lot of these
kids
ladies.
Are hers. Everyone on the court, except Mintner right now, came to Marist because of her.
12.5 left, opening half, Marist by 9. Zach led the MAAC in assists this year, over 150. Vecchio comes away with it. Del Fiore's ahead. And Vecchio got checked.
Oh, Vecchio just doing it all, boy. And this was the Vecchio. You see her hands here. She just takes it, just no foul, just pulls it away from her. Now, remember, Vecchio was everything her freshman and sophomore year. In the last couple of years, her role has changed a little bit.
And she's accepted that role, especially this year. Led the MAAC in assists her freshman and sophomore year, to pick up on your point.
And now has become a real point guard. And she distributes the basketball, hasn't thought much about scoring, but today she's doing it all.
Zach Stevens out there. Lonnie Brown's back in. Chesko and Richards join him. Chesko way off the mark. Stevens cleans up. That's the senior presence to know where the ball's going.
Well, Stevens also is an exceptional rebounder. She averages just under 10 a game, good on the offensive glass, and she's always in the right place at the right time.
Stevens has 4. Velarde on the cut.
And it's that back screen. You need to communicate. If you don't communicate, you're going to find yourself in this position Siena found themselves late in the game yesterday.
They didn't get anything offensively from Velarde yesterday, and today she's got 5. That's the walk.
Marist doing a very good job on defending on the perimeter, making sure they don't get easy looks at the basket.
11-13 left in the opening half. As Marist leads by 9. Canisius looking to get some fuel, though, from their top player and the player of the MAAC, Janelle Stevens.
What are you looking for in a college? Cutting-edge academic programs, a faculty that's second to none, great recreational opportunities and residence halls? How about a college that will provide you with the education you need to become a leader in your profession and in your community? If that's what you're looking for in a college, you'll find it at Canisius. To learn more about Canisius College, call 1-800-843-1517 or visit us on the web at canisius.edu. Canisius College, where leaders are made.
HSBC proud to sponsor the HSBC family section. HSBC salutes the MAAC and today's families in attendance. HSBC, the world's local bank. Dave McGarity, his daughter Maureen McGarity, is on the Red Foxes. Of course, he's the head coach, his 18th year for the Lady Red Foxes, and his lovely wife Rita. And Coach Mahalik from the Niagara men's team, all having a nice sit-down chat. Niagara, of course, knocking off in an NBA type of game last night, Iona. And they advanced to the semifinals. We'll have it for you later tonight on the MAAC Television Network. That's Maureen McGarity right on cue.
Well, that's her 10th point. She's just on fire in this ball game.
McGarity averaging 12.7 a game in the regular season. And Stevens with 6.
Now we see Canisius. They're starting to press a little bit. They're starting to turn the screws up on defense. All the things that got them here.
Kresge, Del Priore, McGarity. Laura Whitney's out there. And Shannon Minter, the freshman from Ossining, New York. 10 on the shot clock. Maureen McGarity's got 12 points.
12 points, and she is shooting almost 60% from the floor. So she's brought them here, and she's going to take them to the next level if she keeps playing like this.
And Stevens coming back on a 3-ball.
Well, Steven wants to show everybody that she's the player here.
In fact, Canisius second in the league in three-pointers made per game at 4. And that's been a big part of their arsenal. McGarity hoisting for a 3.
Mintner may have gotten called for the push-off foul.
Velarde coming back in now for the Foxes. Mike DeSillis working that sideline. Had his young daughter earlier today, carrying her around. And Canisius finds themselves down as we get close to 9.5 left here, the opening half. 27-19. McGarity for the clear.
They're driving down the heart of the defense. They're just not going in. That's about the 3rd time today that they've taken it to the heart and come up empty.
Canisius shooting 41% in the 2 days of activity here in the tournament. And not that number today. Minter driving and converting her second field goal.
And they just can't miss today. Marist is just putting it all together.
Kresge got a little too much flesh.
Well, you know, yesterday we saw Brown streak the way that Light is streaking, and Brown has been a non-factor, and perhaps it's because she has no legs, but I have to tell you, they need her. Oh, Zach is struggling, Brown is struggling, Stevens has kept them in this ball game, and Light's done a good job, but their starters have to come up and understand that they can't take a hiatus. They have to come to play.
Foul off the inbound. It'll be Marist basketball.
And that's a give back. Coach hates to see that given back that way.
Megan Light gets her second personal as Kresge checks out.
You know, this Canisius team is young. You know, you look at Light, you look at Radinsky, Wetley. These are young kids, and Zach is just a sophomore.
Of course, they do have the 2 cornerstones in Brown and Stevens, but you're right. Del Priore, who had a wonderful game yesterday against St. Peter's with the 26 points, and she's been her leading scorer throughout the year.
Well, she has just 4 points right now, but I tell you what, McGarity's been doing so much for her. This is just a hard matchup. You see it here. Del Priore is tough to guard. And she's got those big, long arms. She plays 6 feet, but she honestly, with those arms, plays at 6'2", 6'3". Got a great stroke. I mean, whether she's posting you low or shooting outside, she's tough to stop.
She's from Livingston, New Jersey, the senior. Her best game of the year, double-double, and career-high numbers against Ryder on the last day of January. 31 points and 21 rebounds, and best of all, she went over 1,000 career points in that game down in Jersey. Del Priore drains a couple with 8:51 left in the first half. Marist 31, Canisius 19.
Well, Del Priore just need 9 points, and she'll tie with Sabrina Valerie and become the 7th player in all-time scoring points for Marist. So looks as if she's on track today to do that. moving into 7th place.
Zach gets her 3rd field goal to go down. Del Priori. And a travel on Del Priori.
Marist doesn't turn the ball over too often. They're ranked 13th in the country, Dean, in turnovers. They don't give it away. If you're going to beat them, it's going to be on what you do, not on what they make mistakes doing.
Stevens lights up her 2nd triple.
Boy, she's on fire, and she's keeping them in it. Stevens has been their bright light. Opting to play a little zone now.
Weak side for Velarde.
And Wenzel may have picked up that foul.
Wansel on the foul.
The move to zone is interesting, huh?
Janelle Stevens has led this team on a comeback. Down at 1 point by 12. They've sliced it to 7 on the MAAC Television Network. Back here at the Pepsi Arena, as Marist leads 31-24. I have a special guest lined up for you in just a second. Rebecca Logo, who played her college ball at UConn and eventually in the WNBA with the New York Liberty, will be joining us. And a storied career with Rebecca Logo.
Well, I'll tell you what, I go way back with Rebecca Lobo. She won't remember me, but when I was at Yale, her team just crushed us in one of her tournaments, as she did with so many other teams that coaches brought into that arena. Of course, those of you that know anything about basketball will recognize Rebecca as being the household name in women's basketball. A former Olympian, a WNBA pro player, and a college standout. She's done it all. In 1995, she was the National Player of the Year. She led her Huskies to the national championship. 1996, she was the youngest member of the Olympic team that went on to win the gold in Atlanta. In October of 1996, she began a professional career. Rebecca, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's nice to be, I'm used to MSG. They carried the Liberty for so long. That was where I spent 5 years of my career. So, I'm really enjoying watching this game so far.
Well, what do you think about this game, Rebecca? As you see these two teams play, what are your thoughts as a player and as an analyst?
Well, it's fun watching players compete, especially when you know what's on the line in terms of getting that berth to the NCAA. And Marist just seems to be getting the open shots that they want to take and are draining them. And Stevens for Canisius. If I was Canisius, I'd just keep feeding her the ball. I don't know if she's missed all game. Early on, she wasn't getting many touches, but just keep getting her the ball. She's a nice player.
And she's a great player. She's actually been selected as MAAC Player of the Year, and she's had a storied career here at Canisius. Now, as you look at this, playing college basketball, you played at every level. What are your thoughts about college basketball?
Oh, in some ways, it's the purest form of it because players are out there for the love of the game, and it's, there's nothing more exciting than March. Playing college basketball in March, getting ready for the NCAA tournament. I'm sure all these players feel the same way. If the team that wins gets to continue playing in the NCAA tournament, the other ones probably are going to see the end of their season. So there's nothing more exciting than this time of year for college basketball.
Of all of the memories that you have, and you have, I'm sure, stored thousands of them, what's your memory of college basketball that sticks out?
I think it would have to be my senior year when we went 35-0 and won the championship back in 1995. It's just one of my favorite memories, right up there with winning the Olympic gold medal in 1996. So I know what these players are feeling and the excitement that's going through them. And, it's just a really exciting time for these kids.
Well, talk a little bit about, Rebecca, about the Girls in the Game program and what you spent time doing this morning.
Well, I came up here for the MAAC conference, invited me to come up and talk to some young kids before the game, primarily girls, and just encourage them to stay involved in sports, talk about my experiences, especially early on in sports, how important academics is. And, I'm sure a lot of the kids who are here today are hoping one day to be playing in this MAAC championship game. So just to encourage them to stay on the right track.
If you would give them one message, what would you say?
One message would probably just be to keep your dreams alive. So many things can happen. And when I was in college, there was no WNBA. And so all the things that I've been fortunate to do, playing professional basketball and otherwise, didn't exist when I was a little kid. So who knows what's going to be available to these young kids when they get to be college age.
Well, as you watch this one, what's your message to both teams?
Well, like I said, for Canisius, get Stevens the ball. You take a look at her right there. She's done a nice job of getting on the offensive glass. She's been draining her threes. I would just keep coming down and running plays for her. Zach's done a good job, too, of hitting the open shot when she's got it. And then Marist just keep doing what they're doing. They're setting really nice screens in their half-court set, whether it's man or against the zone, and getting the open shots that they want.
Rebecca, when you were young, what role model did you have, and did you have ever somebody like yourself come and talk to you as a youth?
When I was playing, or when I was young, there was no pro basketball. There wasn't hardly any college women's basketball on television. So it was great for me, to have the opportunity to finally see some. And when I was a kid, it was Larry Bird. I'm a Massachusetts kid, and I love the Celtics. And so it's really great that these young kids can not only come to this game, but can watch it on TV. And there's so much more women's basketball on TV. They can have a role model, whether it plays for Marist, Canisius, UConn, whatever it is. There's so many more role models out there for the young girls to see.
You played at a major Division I school. This is mid-level D1, but they play just as hard as everybody else. In your opinion, do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah, no question. I think sometimes the size and strength of the kids might be different, but the amount of heart that they play with and the work that they put into it, that's the same no matter what level you play.
Now, Rebecca, have you thought, we know that as a player all you've accomplished, but now you're in a whole new phase of your life. You're no longer playing, but when you watch a game like this, do you wish you still were? Or have you really put your sneakers down and said, no, I want to start the next phase of my career?
When I retired this past fall, I just knew it was time to stop playing. And so I don't really get an urge to get out there. I just enjoy watching great basketball, great offensive rebounds like we just saw. And I love staying around the game. And so doing the broadcasting is going to let me continue to be around the game. But I knew it was time for me to stop playing.
Well, you look out here and you see some great offensive rebounding. You see Velarde take the shot. You see a player come out of nowhere and Del Piore and put it up. What makes a player go to the basket like that? You did that in your entire career. You kept going to the basket on the boards. Is it because you're hungry for the ball? What is it?
I think for a lot of players, it's just instinct, and especially when you start playing as a little kid, sometimes you only touch it at times you touch it as a post player is when you get those offensive rebounds. So the great players just have an instinct. They can get to the basket and they know where the ball is going to come.
How do you think your message was received this morning?
I think it was received pretty well. The kids were enjoying it, and I had a chance to talk to them and meet all of them afterwards. So the most important thing is you'll look around the arena today and you'll see the kids. Doesn't matter which team they're cheering for. They have their own aspirations and dreams, and they see it being lived out. Oh, what a great pass.
Del Piore has scored the last couple buckets after Marist had saw Canisius come back and cut the lead to 2.
Point guard sort of sets tempo here, doesn't it, Rebecca? You played with a great one in Jen Rosati. How important it is for them to get you the ball in positions. You see Vecchio doing it now. Zach and Vecchio, rate the two of them as you see them play.
Vecchio is one of those players you love to have on your team, but you hate when they're on the other team because she's everywhere. She caused a couple early turnovers, picking it up in the full court, and she's just one of those small players who can do a lot, but she's really, keeping her team where there she goes again, keeping her team where she wants them.
Well, seniors now, you talk about, you played beside a senior and Jen Rosati for 4 years. You take a look at Vecchio and Zach, Vecchio being the senior, Zach being the sophomore. Who has the real advantage?
Well, I think usually it's the player with leadership and the more experience, having that leadership. You can't talk enough about what experience can do. So it doesn't matter. Even when a talented kid, you look a player like Diana Taurasi, her freshman year came in, was a tremendous player, but the difference between then and now, her senior year, is great. So I think, when the talent is equal, the kid with the experience always has the edge.
Now, as you watch this, you see Marist come out, a team that traditionally shoots in the 30s, shoots in the 60s. How do they get themselves shooting like that in a big game?
Well, I think not only do they come out juiced for the game, but they're getting pretty open looks. Their teammates are setting really good screens that are getting the players, 2 or 3 seconds. You shoot a lot better percentage when you don't have a hand in your face. And so far this game, the Marist players have had an opportunity to get really open looks.
You played in tournaments. What's it like when you go that third straight day?
It's tough. It's tough, especially on your legs. And for post players, your upper body just feels bruised. I'm sure the guards feel it more in their legs, but people forget conference tournaments are difficult because you're playing a third game. Even the pros, you play back-to-back, but you never play 3 games in a row.
without 24 hours recovery either.
Right, right. So, you know, these kids in a lot of ways are going on adrenaline here this afternoon.
Now, what's Canisius got to do to get this lead down a little bit? You know, Marist has really led the entire game.
But they've got to, especially in this zone defense, is prevent them from getting the ball on the block, and offensively, like I've said all along, get it to Stevens.
Get it to Stevens. Get it to Stevens.
Rebecca, thanks a lot for coming on with us. Rebecca Lobo, who represented the MAAC today and the girls in the game program. Thank you again for joining us, and congratulations in the future as well.
Thank you very much.
Back here at the Pepsi Arena, championship game of the MAAC Women's Tournament. Marist 38, Canisius 29. Marist led at 1 point by 12. They saw Canisius take a run at them, get it down to 2. Now Marist on their own 7-0 run to forge out by 9 again.
Well, it's been all Marist. They've just come out on fire and haven't cooled down a bit.
This is Becky Zach. Zach's had some problem with turnovers today for Whitlieb. And Whitlieb, who prior to that had hit 7 of 14 shots on threes, nails that one. This is Velarde looking for Del Priori. Zach to lead him for Brown and a push. There'll be an inbound. All right, check it. Brown will be at the free throw line. Brown on the year, knocking down 61% of her tosses as McGarrity's back in. She's had the hot hand for the Lady Red Foxes with 12. Brown gets the second. 5-point Marist lead and some pressure now from Canisius. Minter picked up there by Janelle Stevens. Kristen Keller from Poughkeepsie, New York. Shot clock is at 7.
And Keller makes a great move inside. Official doesn't make the call, but she was there.
Zach 1 on 3. Shot the air ball.
And Brown keeps it alive. The first time we've really seen Brown go to the basket with any real authority hadn't happened before this. With 2:30 left in the game, or in the half, 5 points. I'll tell you, Canisius ought to be very, very happy. Look at these statistics. Del Priori and McGarity in the first 2 rounds have come up with 32 points between them. The rest of the team just 29. They've already 23 today. It's been 25 today. It's been all of the senior leadership. Rebecca mentioned how important senior leadership was, and boy, are they coming big out today. Give them everything they have.
Those two combined yesterday for 38 of the 62 against St. Peter's. Minter's got the open wing. Minter buries a 3.
And everybody is distributing, everybody is hitting. Just as you think Canisius chips its way back, Marist does something spectacular.
Where Minter only her 6th three-pointer made this year. Zach's been pushing it a little bit.
Yeah, she has. I think that she needs to get back to playing within her abilities.
Minter, same spot.
McGarity keeps it alive. What a great job on the board.
Keller to the fade. Great inside-outside move that time.
Well, it all happened because McGarity was willing to hit the ground to get a loose ball.
Back up to a 10-point Lady Red Fox lead. Minter picking up on Zach. Stepping out, Whitley. And Keller has another rebound.
Marist has done a terrific job on the boards today. It was the key to the game, and they have just made certain that they keep continuing to get one.
Foul inside. Team foul situation, both over the bonus.
Canisius looks tired to me, Dean. As you look now, they need a blow. They need to get into halftime and regroup. They don't want to let this lead go any further than it is. You see that the guard comparison, Zach has just not put the kinds of points up that she had at the start of the tournament. And although Vecchio isn't scoring a lot of points, she's doing everything in distribution of the basketball.
Minter to pick up there on Zach here in the final minute of the first half. That's Light trying to skirt the corner. Minter on the foul.
Defense inside was terrific.
Canisius got put back well, though, on defense.
But they didn't get beat in transition very much.
And Stevens on the pick. Stevens already hit a couple from there. Light battling. And a foul on McGarity.
You know, I would have, McGarity seemed to have kept position, but she did contact, and it was, she was vertical. Stevens takes the shot. Light does a nice job keeping it alive, keeps her hands up. You know, it's vertical position. She had that vertical position, and Light just put her body into her.
First one on McGarity. And Light on the year, knocking out 61% of her free throw attempts. She was a great track star, as well as a basketball player in high school. In fact, she won 6 medals in the Ontario track and field competition. Of course, she's from Midhurst, Ontario, Canada. 3 girls from Canisius are from the Canadian region.
Well, I'll tell you, who's ever recruiting for Canisius is doing the job, because their young classes are just wonderful to watch. Now, I know they lose great players in Stevens and Brown, but they have, the cupboard is full. Whoever takes over for DeSillis is going to have a nice group of kids to work with.
McGarity couldn't get it inbound. You got to use the timeout up anyway, and she decided to do that. As Brian Georges talks with his team, 8-point lead with 31.6 remaining in the half. It's been all Marist in the second half. The MAAC announced its all-conference awards this week. One of the top awards is the MAAC Scholar Athlete of the Year award, and it went to local resident from Siena College, Lauren Serber. Serber had a nice season, the redshirt sophomore, coming off an ACL injury and getting it done in a classroom as well.
Big possession here for Marist. If it can use the clock and score, it gives itself a 10-point lead going into halftime, and the double-digit lead is a nice way to start a second half. So look for Marist to really distribute the basketball, not rush its shot.
For the most part, they've been doing that throughout the day. Shot clock down to 13. Back cut, Keller again. Keller, another opportunity.
Well, I'll tell you, Marist is doing it in the rebounding, and they're doing it in their offense.
Zach not aware of the time situation. She dribbles out the clock, and Marist heads to the locker room with a double-digit lead in the championship game.
This says it all. Who's on D? Who's helping on the boards? No one but Stevens there. Keller in the right place at the right time, finishes it off. That's the story of the first half, Dean.
Marist 45, Canisius 35. We're back with our halftime after this on the MAAC Television Network.
Family. It's what the MAAC and Special Olympics are all about. Working together to overcome obstacles, braving new challenges, achieving goals, and exceeding expectations. The MAAC and Special Olympics, teammates promoting the true spirit of competition.
Introducing Gray Line New York Sightseeing's Showbiz Insiders Tour. This is the only way you'll be able to experience all the behind-the-scenes magic riding inside a luxurious deluxe motor coach to the New Amsterdam Theater, home of Disney's The Lion King. Meet a Broadway actor for an intimate performance at Gray Line's private theater, the Radio City Stage Door Tour, or a picture with a Rockette, the NBC Studio Tour with Jay Leno and Saturday Night Live, lunch at Planet Hollywood in the heart of Times Square, and much, much more. Exclusively for MAAC family and friends, Gray Line has special hotel packages, which include the Hop-On, Hop-Off double-decker bus all loops tour. Please call 1-800-669-0051 or visit us at NewYorkSightseeing.com for all the excitement today.
This game is brought to you in part by Broadway Marketing, Mind-Bending Solutions, by I Love New York, show your love for New York State, by GHI, healthcare coverage from A to Z. We're at halftime of our MAAC Women's Championship game. Marist with a double-digit lead of 10 over the number 4 seed Canisius, 45-34. The MAAC announced its all-conference awards earlier this week, so let's take a look now at this year's MAAC Women's first-team members and find out who the MAAC Player of the Year is. Well, the Player of the Year in the conference, Janelle Stevens, has 15 in this one. We're coming back with some highlights of that first half as Marist leads Canisius 45-35. This game is brought to you in part by Coach USA and Gray Line, the best way to see New York City. By I Love New York, show your love for New York State. And by GHI, healthcare coverage from A to Z. We're nearly set to throw it in to start the second half. Marist leading 45-35. They've won 12 of 16 this year when they lead at the break, and we were a little bit fooled during the course of that early part of the game. Marist came out running, had an up-tempo type of approach.
Well, I think that they found out that they can score on the run. Big scorers in the first half, of course, have been McGarity and Stevens, and Del Puri's added her share.
Whitley drives inside.
Well, Whitley, Zach, and Brown are double-digit scorers in the year, and they've been silent. Stevens has really shouldered the entire load for this first half.
5 points today for Whitley. Whitley, usually she's an outside player. Rattled out for Del Piore.
Del Piore was so open, she didn't knock it down. Very uncommon.
Whitley again driving the basketball.
Well, Coach DeSillis not liking what he's saying, talking to Brown about who he's supposed to pick up and what they're supposed to be doing.
Lonnie Brown had just 3 points and 4 boards in that first half.
And they need her, boy. You know, I thought that the first half, she looked fatigued from the get-go. She didn't have the speed or quickness that she showed last night. We know she can run.
Mike DeSillis with a record in the tournament of 7 wins and 5 losses during his tenure. Zach, who had 4 assists and 4 turnovers in that first half, misfires, but they reset it.
And they seem to be going to the glass. They seem to be taking the approach that we're going inside. We're going to drive at the heart of the defense.
They've been shooting 39% over the last 6 games on threes, but the threes weren't there for them in that first half, shooting only 33%. Stevens drained a couple, though. Shot clock's down to 6. The matchup, Minter on Stevens with the jump stop. And Vecchio, smallest person on the court, grabs the rebound.
They're doing it on the boards. You know, they're up by a couple at the half in number of boards they've taken down. Marist not traditionally a very good rebounding team, but they're rebounding well today.
McGarity steps out of the elbow. Minter had a stellar first half. 7 points, 4 assists, 1 turnover in 12 minutes of action off the bench. Shot clock at 5. McGarity on the block.
Zach's going to get called, yeah. Zach's going to get called for going over the back.
They'll throw in now for Marist.
You'll see it here. Velarde looking in the inside. Nice position. McGarity, a nice little jump hook, misses the glass. Zach, we don't see it, but Zach did give her a little bit of a shove. Official was right in place to see.
McGarity circles it home. Remember, she had the hot start with a quick 12, and that's what she had at the break.
Well, she's putting up MVP numbers in this game.
Brown. And Vecchio with those quick hands.
Well, Vecchio and Zach, they're going at each other the whole game.
They're in each other's pocket. McGarity feels she can take Steves.
And if she can't, Del Piore picks up the offensive board. It's been that way all season, and Brown picks up another foul.
Keep in mind, Maureen McGarity was second on the team in assists in the regular season. She totaled nearly 3 per game.
Well, this offense, Dean, is designed so that she faces up a lot more than a player her size does in most offenses. Vecchio is just making Zach work all over the place. She's chasing her around, making sure she's not involved. And it's been that way whether she has the ball or she's without the ball. Vecchio was a little pest today. Rebecca Lobo said the same thing. You love those kids on your team. You hate playing against them.
Probably Georges, when Vecchio went to bed last night, tattooed the number 20 on her forehead.
Well, she saw Zach play, so you knew she'd come ready to stop her.
Del Piore on the blitz. Del Piore. You don't get it first, get it the second one.
Absolutely. You know, they're jumping, they're double teaming the guard, making Zach do things she's not accustomed to doing.
Stevens rolling back. Stevens led the team with the 15 of the first half. Marist has matched its biggest lead of 12 of the ball game. Brown usually doesn't air it out on the 3. Nobody marks Stevens.
Well, Stevens is everywhere. She's just refusing to go away, and she's keeping this team in the game. She's turning around now, yelling at her teammates, urging them to support her in her quest for an NCAA bid.
She had a double-double against Marist in the second meeting, 23 and 10. McGarity with the answer.
McGarity's just been too much, and the big people in Canisius are just lumbering down court.
3 for McGarity, pushes it out to a 13-point lead. Brown. Del Piore was looking for an over the back, and it's against Del Piore.
Well, Zach just struggling. You know, Del Piore steps up and little jump switch there. Vecchio gets a little help, and Del Piore goes all the other way. And look at Stevens, boy. If it wasn't for Stevens keeping them in this game would have been over at the half. She is a one-woman Canisius show today.
Brown struggled today at the free throw line, only making half, including that one. She's 2 for 4, shooting in a 60% range in the regular season. Only needing 21 points today to hit 1,000 career points.
Well, she's just not showing her stuff today, Dean. You know, she was so good and so strong yesterday. She's just playing tired.
You talked about it yesterday. It's a senior day. And so far
day.
We're seeing it. McGarity, Del Piore, and Stevens.
And Stevens, and who hasn't given them, look at this pass, boy. Talk about going down court. Now we're looking like Canisius. Now we're outrunning you in the building.
That shows you 4 years of chemistry right there. Finally back, as Zach will drill one from straight on.
Well, Zach has that look in her eye. And it's like, I'm not going to be embarrassed today, so take that.
10-point lead for the Foxes. Off Artie's knee.
You know, this Canisius team just won't go away. Just when you think they have a double-digit plus score, they do something to put them back in the game. Now, this is an important time for Canisius because Canisius can make its run, get it back down to single digits with plenty of time to play their kind of basketball.
In the first half, they trailed by 12. They cut it to 2. Then Marist went up again by 8.
As pretty as it gets.
Stevens pumped up as she backpedals to the defensive end. 8-point Marist lead. Running their patient offense for the Foxes. Del Piore from the right side.
And as we've seen all game, Dean, when Canisius gets close, a senior from Marist steps up and does something to give him that double-digit lead again.
Del Piore's got a cool 20.
Oof.
She had 26 yesterday. Foul on the block.
McGarity's pleading her case, thinking that, you know, I'll tell you what, this light kid is not light in the post. She uses her body, she muscles players on the block, and you get pick up 5. You see what they're doing now is they're stepping up and making the guard pass the ball inside or pass away.
Megan Light acting like she's a junior or a senior in this tournament. Had good numbers yesterday against the Saints with 9 points and 6 boards. Averaging 16 minutes a game. As Coach DeSilla is utilizing his bench. He's not afraid to pull the seniors and bring in the freshman.
Give him a little chat. You know, he's going to go. He's done it all year. He's played 10 or 11 people, and they've come through. You know, sometimes the freshman class is just unaware of how hard it is to get here.
56-48. Red Foxes lead it. Vecchio with eyes in the back of her head from three-quarter court, setting up the leading scorer of the ball game, Stephanie Del Priore. And here's our Broadway marketing mind-bending trivia question. What women's player holds the tournament record for the most points in a single game? We'll give it to you in just a little bit time. In fact, there was a lady that had a great tournament back in the mid-90s. Thanks for joining us here at our championship call, the MAAC Women's Division. It's been Marist throughout the game. Started out quickly, 5-0. Canisius made a run at them after trailing at 1 point by 12. Got it down to 2, but Marist led by 10 at the break. Also in there.
Yeah, Canisius picking it up a little bit on the defensive end.
Minter wide open for a 3.
That's in and out.
Keller working hard.
Canisius got lucky on that one. Keller got position, and Mintner was wide open.
There's White, double team. Good job by the defense. Got a hold right in front of us here.
Well, all year long, Marist has double teamed. You'll see what they'll bring in. They'll bring someone from the help side and make you pass the ball. Minter jumped up the passing lane and picked off a pass. Did a nice job of it, and Zach picked up a foul.
Actually, it was Lamparski got the foul, and Zach suffered an injury, jammed her shoulder a little bit.
She's a tough kid. She's not coming out.
Mentioned her dad graduated from Canisius back in 1975. She has a twin sister who was on the team last year and transferred out. McGarity was getting roughed up a little bit. She got roughed up a few times yesterday against St. Peter's.
Yeah, the St. Peter's game was a physical game, and these kids will be sore, but they won't feel it. Not on the way home. The bus ride will be full of songs if they come back with a big old trophy.
What a luxury for Brian Georges with that three-person rotation. Keller, Del Priore, and McGarity. He can always sit one.
He's always got one person getting some time. And, you know, the first half it was the McGarity show. It's the Del Priore show in the second half.
Number 22 has 22 today. 14 minutes and 10 seconds left in this one. Officials are tightening things up right now.
Yeah, well, you know, I think that the officials have not been a factor in the game. They've kept the ball. They've kept the game clean. Neither coaches, are screaming about any of the calls. I think they're legit calls.
It's been an exciting championship game. Good crowd here at the Pepsi Arena. Tournament started on Thursday. Both teams with a couple wins coming under their belt coming into this game.
But 3 is a lot to play. 3 games in a weekend is just a lot of basketball. You need a deep bench.
Del Priore standing tall.
Zach just not putting him in. Getting the drive, got the good handle, but just not making the finish.
There's a foul away from the play of the ball.
I think Light might have picked up another foul.
It's against Abby Radinsky, the freshman.
Well, she and Light have just been trying to beat Del Priore up to stop her.
Well, they've used their fouls, that's for sure.
And Brown's back in.
Radinsky with the 3.
Team foul situation, 5 now on Canisius.
Marist with the 4. Minter's been very steady off the bench.
Did a nice job last night, picked up where she left off.
Del Priore.
Again on the glass.
Foul on the baseline.
Yeah, I think that Whitley may have reached in on that. Look at this. You know, she plays the wing as if she's a guard. The ball goes up strong. She keeps it alive. Actually, Mintner kept it alive, and Del Priore was a benefactor at the end of it.
Vecchio missing on a 3, a 30% shooter. Zach got hammered.
Keller may have called for it.
Zach coming into the game and nailed 13 of 14 free throw attempts in the tournament.
You know, Zach is starting to show why we think she has such a great future. She puts it down. She's done it all day. She's gone to the basket. Nothing's fallen her way. Whitley finds her. Zach makes a little move, goes to the basket. Mittner hits it from behind, gets a chance to make a three-point play, cut the lead to 7.
Second one on Minter. Three-point play for Zach, who's got 12 in the ball game. 58-51.
Now Canisius picking them up full court, making Marist take it down against the pressure. They're not having much trouble against the press. They're bringing it down off the dribble and don't even need to use a pass to get it up.
You can tell they were well schooled. Stevens at 15 in the first half. She's got 4 here in the second half. Under 13 now left. Zach airing it out. A warrior down the glass. Stevens came up short.
Well, that was a chance to cut it to 5, and they weren't able to do it. Marist goes back down now, being able to perhaps get it back up to 8 points or 9 points.
Already in the step out. First option's always inside look.
Always a back screen that follows the inside look. You see Keller come up with it. You know, they'll get you in the block. They don't get the ball there. They go up, set a back screen. Somebody cuts down real quick. They move very, very well without the ball. You'll see a pass here. She cuts, the old give and go. It's just simple, basic basketball. Nothing fancy about it. If you get hit, you make your foul shots.
Now, as a defender, you have to talk to your teammates, obviously.
Well, you know, your communication skills, we talked as one of the keys to the game. The defense has to communicate against a team that passes, cuts, moves, and sets screens. You can't be silent out there. And I think it's hard to teach kids to talk. You get focused on your assignment, and you really forget that defense is played in a team concept. Someone has to pick up. Someone has to say, I need help.
Pete Carrill used to do a heck of a job at Princeton with that. Teams didn't want to play him.
Didn't want to play him because offensively he broke you down.
8-point deficit staring Canisius in the eye. Radinsky picked off Vecchio.
One too many passes.
Still playing on the shot clock. 10 seconds. Stevens. That time fighting with Velarde for the rebound. Last touch by Janelle Stevens.
Well, Stevens is just frustrated right now.
11:56 left in regulation. Marist controlling tempo and an 8-point lead here at Albany. Welcome back to the Pepsi Arena here at Albany. Dean Darling and Cecilia DeMarco calling today's championship game of the MAAC Women's Conference. And Nina Vecchio playing in her 115th career game today has been the difference on defense.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know the old adage, defense wins championships. Well, Vecchio has been testament to that. She is just everywhere. Defensively, she has scrapped. She has gone after loose basketballs. She's playing the game of her life. Her numbers won't show it, but she really is the defensive player of the game today.
It's a Marist team that did very well against non-conference competition, really stepped up in the ranks. Knocked off Conference USA opponent Tulane and gave Auburn, who's in the top 25, a heck of a game for 35 minutes.
Well, the team's playing great defense, and it's all spearheaded by what's happening at the point. Vecchio has set the pace. Now, her numbers don't show that. Her numbers will show you points, they'll show you assists, but she's working against one of the better point guards in the league. And although Zach is starting to show signs of brilliance, she has really held her down.
Del Priori on the cut.
And it's another back screen, another miscommunique.
Stepping out, Radinsky. Steves that time muscled 2 defenders.
2 white shirts are down on their butts.
6-point lead for Marist.
This is the closest they've been in the second half, Dean, so this is an important defensive stopper if Canisius wants to climb back on top. Canisius now in the first half shooting 43%, just second half 33. Marist cooling down a good deal.
And Steves too much that time against McGarity.
Well, McGarity now has been a bit quiet. and Del Fiore has been the player that's been the go-to player. Of course, most of her points coming in the second half. Del Fiore already with a double-double. 12 rebounds, 22 points. McGarity, 16 points, 12 of those in the first half. So the two of those players with Vecchio's defensive pressure have made the difference in this ball game.
Canisius getting themselves in some trouble here with the fouls. This is their 18th foul with 11:08 left, so it's a 1-on-1 for McGarity.
And an uncharacteristic miss. This Marist team doesn't miss many.
Zach. Each time today she's been short.
She's been short. She's got to use her legs a little bit. If she's tired, she needs more leg than she's accustomed to using on her ups.
Kresge's really a non-factor in the offense as far as scoring, but she distributes real well.
And she sets good screens.
Minter had to put back. Shot clock rolls at 10 seconds. Del Fiore.
What a move. Lefty goes down. Right hand crossover, lays it up.
24 today for the second-team all-conference player. Steve turned the corner and one.
McGarity is going to get called on the hip. Steve's going to end up at the foul line.
Steve's the sophomore from Trumbull, Connecticut. Not a good free throw shooter, but a real strong post move that time.
Well, they're strong kids. You know, they've got Radinsky and Steves. You see it here. Steves, McGarity just a little late on the hip. Ends up getting the call here. Now, both teams are going to be at the foul line for the rest of the ball game.
Timeout taken by Mike DeSillis of Canisius as he uses his second 30-second timeout of the ball game, and now wants to have a chat with his team because he feels his team can make the run with 10:25 left.
Well, 5 points is not a big, huge gap to close. They were down by as many as 13 at the start of the second half. Now find themselves having cut the deficit in half and better.
You know, Seal, earlier we had asked our viewers the Broadway marking mind-bending trivia question: what women's player holds the tournament record for the most points in a single game? And the answer: Patty Stoffi from Loyola. Not only did it once, did it twice back in the 94 semifinals and finals. She had 36 points on back-to-back days. That's not a bad tournament. Do you think she was player
I think she may
of
have
the
been
tournament?
player of the tournament. I think that's a pretty good bet for a trivia question. Well, right now, you know, the game, if you were to look at the stats and you take a look at the points scored, Marist has already equaled what it averages in the year. It averages 61.3 a season. Canisius averages 71 points a ball game. Scoring, their defense keeps, Marist defense keeps teams to scoring 58 points. That's been the name of the game. But Dean, we have 10 minutes left in the ball game. How many points are going to be scored when all is said and done? You know, you see it here up on the screen. Their output offensively has been what has put them to this point. Now the defense is going to have to win it for them in the next 10.
Number 2 defense in the league, 58.3 allowed in the 27 regular season games. Vecchio, McGarity, Kresge, Minter, Keller on the floor right down for Marist as they give their leading scorer, Stephanie Del Fiore, a little blow.
And Canisius really pulling out the stops on D now.
Kresge got caught in the air, McGarity. A two-pointer on the line.
Every time they've closed the gap, the answer is McGarity or Del Fiore. This is a big foul. McGarity picking up a foul. You see in the stands there a dad just trying to figure it out, like, well, how can that happen? Big, big foul.
Well, Maureen hits the jumper to open up the lead of 7, but then gets the foul as Dave McGarity and Rita McGarity. I don't know if they were happy about the shot or if they were disclaiming about the foul.
I think they're more upset about the foul because whether she missed or makes that shot, you know, in the outcome of the game isn't going to make a difference. But her 4th personal foul is big. Now Keller's going to have to come up and give them 5 or 6 minutes so that McGarity can get back in the ball game.
Long rebound controlled by Stevens. Another opportunity. Del Fiore didn't go for the up fake. Kresge coming back. Kresge's feisty under the glass.
Feisty little guard, and I like what she does on the court. Not afraid either. Just goes right down the hole. Looks like Brown may have picked up that foul.
That was her first shot in the ball game.
You know, a player doesn't have to shoot to make her team a good team, and I think that that's one of the things that Georges has really taught his team, and that's equal opportunity offense, and that might mean that your role is setting screens, setting up your teammates, getting the ball in the paint. And boy, they bought into it early, and what a difference it's made in this season.
Well, that man's team, #1 in the MAAC in assists per game. To pick up on your point, 15.7 dish outs a game.
All about distribution.
And team camaraderie as well. So Kresge finds the bottom of the well a couple times. Marist leads again by 8. Keller got a piece. Brown on a putback.
And if Brown comes alive, she can really get this team fired up and maybe back to the level they're accustomed to playing.
7 in the ballgame for Lonnie Brown. 60th consecutive start today.
Well, she's a double-digit scorer, and she's been quiet.
On the shot clock. Minter's got the open look. And Keller just with a lot of strength.
Ball just getting bounced around. May have gone off and Marist player. And you take the bounces that Keller has been open a lot, and she's gotten a lot of putbacks. She has to go up with a little bit of strength and use the glass.
Zach taking Vecchio off the dribble.
Zach's got to pull up and take jump shots in the middle of the key because she ends up taking one more dribble, brings her right back into Keller.
You mentioned the key juncture in time. McGarity goes to the bench a minute ago with her 4th foul, and Keller is stepping up in her presence.
She is. She's rebounding. She's altering shots. She hasn't done anything on offense, and you don't need her to do it on offense now because the other players are playing pretty well.
Toss inside for Keller. Canisius trying to make the run at Marist. Down by 13 early stages in the second half. Has sliced it to 6.
Well, inside, Dean, without McGarity, this is a different Marist team. Keller not as strong as McGarity inside in the paint. And Brown coming up with it. Maybe Brown's playing well because McGarity's on the bench.
And another foul mounting up against Marist. That'll be there. 18 foul.
You see Stevens shot in and out. Brown in the right place. Kresge sticking her hand in there, making sure that Brown doesn't get a three-point play out of it, but Brown will get the line for 2.
Kresge and McGarity each with 4 personals now for Marist.
Part of those fouls are that they're tired. I think a lot of fouls that you pick up, traditionally these kids don't foul out of ball games, is because your feet are a little heavy. 4 fouls, great shooting percentage today, little bit under 50 with 12 points.
Ball down there by Keller.
I think if we take a look at it, we might see that Canisius tightens up the D, extends a little bit. I'm not sure that McGarity is going to stay on the bench much longer.
7:48 left in this one. Coach Georges needs to make that decision in a short time. Marist leads at Albany by 6 on the MAAC television network. On Friday, the MAAC named its MAAC Rookie of the Year honors. Let's check out this year's winner. And you see the co-rookie there. As they couldn't decide on one, they went with 2. And winning it, Candace Lindsay of Fairfield University and Tony Horvath of Iona. Lindsay averaged 8 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 25 minutes of action this year for the Stags. And Horvath averaged 8.4 points and 3 boards. Not a bad freshman for Marist in their crop. Shannon Minter played stellar minutes here today for Brian Georges.
Well, she certainly is looking like a Rookie of the Year out there. She's having a great ball game. Has had a great tournament.
Really came on second half of the season.
Sometimes it takes freshmen a little while just to understand the system.
Tossing for Del Fiore. Lamparski with the save.
Well, at the 7-minute mark, I don't think that we'll see. I think that you're going to get a foul. Velarde shoved Brown into Keller. And again, we saw finally Brown sprint down the court, things that we saw yesterday and tried to pick up an easy basket. We haven't seen that happen. You see the look, Brown streaking. This is what we saw all season long. Today, picks up a foul, gets to the foul line.
First one on Velarde, and she's had an active game today. Brown, who was having some problems earlier at the free throw line, hits that one.
So Brown, just a 60% foul shooter, averages 12 points a ball game, and slowly is creeping up on that. Has picked up her 8th point of the ball game, but in the first half and second half, she's been kind of silent.
Second team all-conference player from Buffalo. The noise factor favors Marist. Quite the contingent has come up from Poughkeepsie, and you would think a lot of people haven't ventured down from Buffalo to see this Canisius team, but there are a few.
Well, every possession is a big possession right now. I would imagine at the 6-minute mark, if Marist can keep its lead until then, that McGarity will be called in to play the final 6 of her regular season.
Keller, Del Piore, Vecchio, Minter, Velarde on the floor right now for Marist. Thumbs up side by Georges on a play call.
Remember that they've got Stevens now against Vecchio, and Stevens, of course, the co-defensive rookie player of the MAAC this year, as well as player of the year.
Off the dribble, they set Keller up again.
The big people have answered.
She's got 9 today. Rattled out that time for Lamparski.
Keller coming up big. Scoring, rebounding, defensive presence, has altered some shots.
Marist, the number 2 seed, entering play today at 19-10. Went 13-5 of the MAAC, tied for first with Siena. So they're the co-champs, but got the number 2 seed when Siena beat them twice. Siena's out of the tournament, though, courtesy of Canisius. Here's the putback by Del Piore.
Francesco picks up the foul. Del Piore will end up going to the foul line. You see it here. They're doing a good job getting to the glass. Good board on Del Piore's part. I don't know if they'll call it a 2-shot foul or if they'll give her, well, they'll give it a 2-shot because of the 10-shot foul.
Canisius got into foul trouble early into the second half as far as the team's concerned. Del Piore makes that one. Smooth stroke from the left-hander. 82% free throw accuracy on the year. Entered play today, 1,153 career points, needing just the 10 to move into 7 as she entered play today at 8. She's done that and a lot more with the 25.
Just take a look at this. 50% from the floor, 14 boards. What an afternoon.
Another double-double for her. 14th time she's had a double-double in her career. Edging in at 6 left. Marist with a 9-point lead. Velarde just got her second foul.
And Stevens gets to the foul line in a 10-foul situation, so that she'll be shooting 2 shots now. The foul shooting is going to make a difference down the stretch. This isn't a far enough game in terms of points. You see Stevens make the move. Velarde bumped her before that. Stevens, a very good foul shooter, does everything well. Stevens just does everything well. She's just under 80% from the line. Boy, will Canisius miss her? Will the league miss her, Dean? She's just fun to watch.
And also an all-academic team member as
does it
well.
all.
Player of the year, preseason player of the year. That's a lot of pressure to put on a youngster. She responds there with a couple free throws. 69-62 Marist. Here comes the pressure from the Griffs.
And once the ball's in Vecchio's hands, everybody just sort of backs down,
They
lets
retreat.
her take it.
You saw Keller just pointing to her. Give her the ball.
Being very patient in the way they pass the basketball, using the clock effectively.
Shot clock, though, dwindles at a couple. Lamparski to lead him out. Light calling for the ball.
And that's the sprinting that we see Canisius' trademark, and we've got a 5-point ball game again. I'd look for McGarity to start to make a move to the scorer's table.
Ryan Georges might be waiting for the next media timeout under 4. He wants a timeout here from the bench.
I think you can feel the momentum shifting a little bit. You can feel that Canisius is starting to make a little bit of a run. You want to shut them down.
couple times here in the half, they've gotten it down to 5. Trailed by 13 early stages of this second half. And trailed by 10 at the break. Last time a number 4 seed won in this tournament. And that's what Canisius entered into this tournament. 1995, Loyola went 3-0 in 3 days to win the crown. Copyrighted telecast of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the MAAC and MAAC Properties, the Division of Host Communications. Postseason scoring, Del Fiore and McGarity, they've been performing the magic all season, averaging 32 in the first 2.
It's been their show. I mean, this is the tournament. It's their show. These seniors, and Vecchio, although we don't see her name in the point category, has done so much at the point guard. And Vecchio taking a little bit of a break. Starters are back in. Kresge is going to be handling the ball at the point. Zach will match up against her.
10 on the shot clock again. Kresge aware of the situation. And Keller on the board again. Just anchored on the block.
Yeah, just at the right place, right time, big body. Radinsky didn't get position. Couldn't do anything but either foul or watch her shoot.
Marist' 3 post players, all in double digits.
Well, they brought the ball inside, and they scored against him.
We talked about it in the open. Got to pound it inside. Zach, quiet ball game. Radinsky followed her own. Lamparski. That's a 3.
But this is a dangerous team just when you think it's over, they find life. And this is what's made this team successful this year. They believe in one another. Rudnitsky makes the move, keeps the ball alive, sets up in the corner. Nice movement, high arcing 3-point shot.
And 2 freshmen bringing them back.
Yeah, and Zach hasn't played up to her potential. Stevens is Stevens. And Brown hasn't done what she's done all season. I think she looks a bit fatigued.
Lamparski shooting 30% on threes, was open on that wing.
Well, we've got ourselves a ball game now. It's a 4-point ball game, anybody's game. Canisius has not led in this entire half. It's been all Marist. Let's see if the big people, McGarity, Del Fiore, and Keller can keep doing what they're doing on the boards. Vecchio getting a little bit of a blow. She'll get back in, I'm sure, when the defense needs her.
Canisius hasn't led the entire game. Dropped down early, 5-0 as you take a look with a win today. Canisius in their 18th season in Division I. First appearance in the NCAA. If that happens, same for Marist.
They're putting it all on the line. There's nothing to save. There's nothing left. It's 4 minutes. Give it what you got.
You and I have called many number 1, number 2 seed championship games. Not happening this year. It's Marist number 4. Canisius, I should say Marist number 2, Canisius number 4.
I don't think there's ever been as much riding on it for a program, because both programs have come from really a time when neither was very strong to where they are now.
White has it. Marist milking every shot clock opportunity.
Well, they're trying to take the air out of the basketball.
White had a notion. Brown was going to toe the 3, steps inside.
Brown just can't find it today.
Kresge on the year, average nearly 4 rebounds a game. McGarity's the trailer. McGarity almost got her 5th foul.
Ball won't fall now, Dean, for either team. It just seems as if it's rolling around and won't go in.
It's getting close to the net.
It sure is.
Looks like a clear out, baby, for Stevens. Instead, they go to Zach. Not there for Zach on the outside today.
4-point ball game with 2 minutes left. 2 and change.
Closest Canisius has gotten in a long time.
And they've had some chances to score. Both teams.
Velarde free on a 3.
And here they come.
Zach for the pull. She has cut the deficit to 2.
Now it's all about who doesn't make a mistake down the stretch.
Both teams seem gassed right now. And Brian Georges does not want to wait for the media timeout. Feels it getting away. Calls for another timeout from the bench.
Well, you know, just as he used his last timeout, Dean, we had said that we felt that the table was beginning to turn a little bit. You see this miss. Velarde is all alone. This could have put it away. Doesn't put it away. Zach comes down. A little bit of a trip there. Official doesn't make the call. Steps up. Does what she's done all year. Nothing but net. Now you've got a 2-point ball game. Everybody's invigorated. And Marist has seen their lead slip away. They were up double digits. 13. And haven't been able to put this Canisius, this feisty little Canisius team away. Stevens has been quiet in this stretch. Look for her to come up big, but she's played a lot of minutes.
Now we've been getting on Zach a little bit because she's had a tough floor game. She's got 14 points.
Yeah. Well, and, you know, this hasn't been this close, Dean, since the start of the game with 3 minutes into the game. So now we're talking about a whole different table setting. And who steps up? Del Puri has had big numbers. McGarrity's been quiet. She's been quiet since she came back from sitting in that stretch. But Vecchio's back on the court. Vecchio on the court could make a difference. She's been a little rested now.
Canisius 7-3 this year. Games decided by 5 points or less. Take a look now at our Pontiac game summary. Brought to you by Pontiac, the official performance machines of the NCAA. Close in field goal percent. Way back in here in the second half. A deflection, says Marty Novich.
Well, Stevens has her hand right in there, and they're right in front of the officials, so he's got his handle on. But Stevens a great defensive player, isn't she? She reads the pass.
Final media timeout at the 2-minute mark. You judge. 2-point game in the championship final. This game is brought to you in part by Pepsi. It's the Cola. By HSBC, the world's local bank. By the New York Lottery, New York Mega Millions. Dream bigger. And by FYE, for your entertainment. During the timeout, the two crowds got involved, yelling for their teams. They know this is it. At the 2-minute mark, a 2-point game.
It all comes down to who executes, who makes smart decisions down the stretch.
Vecchio's had a steady game. That's Minter. Velarde, McGarity, Del Puri joining. Del Puri off the curl.
Big hoop. Big hoop.
She's got 28 to lead her team. Stevens on a 3-look is hit.
She'll get 3. Not the player you want to put at the foul line, but 3 shots in a 4-point ball game. You see this backdoor play. I'll tell you, they run it all day. You see the back screen. McGarry's a big screen setter. Del Puri goes right off her shoulder, puts it in. Stevens gets her right. Velarde gets her right on the wrist. Uncharacteristic miss here.
Second one today. Before that had hit 3 of 4, and just a great free throw shooter in the year, 80%.
Well, she has big percentages today. All makes a difference. She'll put these away. It'll be, again, we'll see ourselves in a 2-point situation.
Well, she's got it to 1 possession now with 92 ticks left. 22 today for Stevens. Goes 1 for 3. That's key. Stevens will pick up on Vecchio at the timeline.
They've got to talk defensively now to make sure they don't get any backdoor stuff.
Here's Vecchio, picked up by Lamparski. Stevens will lead him out. Stevens getting by Velarde. 1-point ball game, timeout from the Canisius bench as they'll take a 30.
And with that rebound on the defensive end, Stevens gets her double-double, gets possession, brings it back, and scores. Kid does everything. You know, she is really, as you watch this game and have watched this tournament, you see the turnover here. Del Vecchio brings the ball down, throws the ball up. Stevens in the right place, has been all year, drives down, distributes, ball comes back, steps in, great body winners, comes here, lays it up.
Beat the double team when McGarity came over.
This is the closest it's been the whole game. So this 1 point, what a time for it, Dean, with less than a minute on the clock. This is the way it should be.
Two teams that's never been here before.
Well, this is just MAAC basketball. Let's face it, this is the way the season has gone. The broadcasts that we've been involved in and the tournaments that we have seen have all gone down to the wire. And it's great that two teams that haven't been there are doing it this time.
So an animated freshman and Megan Light talking to her team in a huddle. Marist possession with 54 ticks left. Timeout situation. Marist has 2 remaining. Canisius with 1. And there's one used there.
Well, that's a tough one to burn. McGarity had to burn it. Didn't have any openings.
So now each team has a full timeout left in the well. One of the assistants there for Mike DeSillis is John Spazchek in his 4th year as an assistant to DeSillis. Remember, DeSillis steps down after the next loss. Who's going to be the new coach at Canisius? Time will tell. This copyrighted telecast of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the MAAC and MAAC Properties, a division of Host Communications. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. It's been a fun one with 54 seconds remaining. You want it in her hands at the end.
Well, Kresge's got the ball right now. She's setting it up. They're going with 3 guards. They're taking Keller out and using Mintner as she comes. You see a big of a zone. They're going to challenge the outside shot.
Shot clock is at 10. Georges is coaching from the near sideline. Brown wraps it down. McGarity trying to tie it up, calling for a timeout, but a jump ball, and Marist will keep it on the arrow.
Oh, this is big. This is big. Brown couldn't get the timeout when she wanted it, when she had possession.
And McGarity was trying to get the timeout as well as they grappled on the floor.
And Kresge really was the player that went down and got that ball. Heads up play with 20 seconds. They can waste it now and hold on.
Both teams over the double bonus limit.
You see it here. Mintner forced to take the shot, and Brown in the right place. Gets her hands on it, but comes down. Kresge staying with it. Brown just is asking for timeout, but doesn't keep possession of it when she does it. McGarity appears to be on the line.
Very close to it. Now the official, in his judgment, didn't think she had full possession.
Well, didn't think anyone had possession, so he made the smart call and the call that really was the right call, but he was right there, and we could see it on the screen. Now, when you're coaching right here, Dean, you really have to trust that your kids on out-of-bounds play will make a big decision and a good decision and won't waste it. And with 20 seconds left, look for Marist if they don't get a quick score on the inbound play, which is always a layup, to bring it out and really to waste clock. Canisius is talking about right now who they foul and at what point in the game they do foul. They don't want to waste time. Oh, Dad's nervous, isn't he? He's coaching from up there.
It's worse than a men's game.
It probably is I think, more difficult because you have less control when you're watching your child play as opposed to coaching the team yourself. Look to Canisius to make a decision as to when they foul if they don't get possession. I don't think you'll see it go under double digits and make the game a single-digit time factor.
Canisius cannot stop the clock. Marist has 1 timeout remaining. Arrow will favor Canisius after they inbound this ball.
They're going to keep it in the scorer's hands. You see a foul right away with 18-5. Good move, just so that they'll have plenty of clock to score on the other end. Now, Del Priore, again, all of the Marist team is a very good shooting team. Del Priore going to be at the line at 80% foul shooter.
Made all but 1 today.
2 shots to do it.
2-point ball game. A concerned Marist bench.
Well, she puts this one down, then Canisius has to decide whether they go for the 3 to tie or they go for the 2 and foul someone right away.
And no timeouts left.
With none left. I mean, this is a decision now that seniors are going to make on the court.
2 big ones by Stephanie Del Priori. They need the 3 to tie. Whitley going for the tie. Brown for the cleanup.
And no foul is a good, smart move on their part. They're going to have to hit someone quickly.
Off the inbound, Vecchio is fouled by Zach.
You know, they had the look. Whitley has hit those all year. It was good. It was really good playmaking decisions on their part. Now Vecchio is going to go to the foul line, and she needs to make these so that Marist can rest a little bit, being up by just 1 with 5 seconds and change left.
Whitley just didn't have her feet under her.
No, she didn't. But, you know, she didn't almost have time to, Dean. Now, remember that, again, good foul shooter, 78%. Hasn't been to the line, but is a senior and has been in this position before.
So Del Priori just hit 2. The other senior, Vecchio, just made it 3 in a row.
And what a wonderful game Vecchio has had. She's done it all for them. Points don't show it, but she's played such great D.
Even if Vecchio makes this, Canisius has a chance to tie. Clock starts now. Zach for the runner. Del Priori secures. Marist has won the MAAC championship.
And Marist is going to the big dance.
For the first time in the school's history, the Lady Red Foxes of Marist College have won in a cliffhanger. 76-74, tears of joy at the center circle. You feel good for a young lady like Maureen McGarity, Stephanie Del Priori, as they greet each other, and of course Nino Vecchio.
I'll tell you what, the seniors brought them here, and the seniors ought to feel great about what they accomplished. What a season, what a finish.
And in the process, they've won their 20th game of the year. This is a team that had suffered 10 consecutive losing seasons. And this year, they went 17-10 in the regular season, co-champs of the regular season, but now their moniker will read champs of the postseason.
This is all that matters, is they are not just co-champs, they are the champions of the tournament, the first for the program, the first for this group of seniors that came in under a different coaching staff. Kristen Lamb in the stands, excited for them. How great is this?
They celebrate in Albany. A championship for the first time at a MAAC. Final score, Marist 76, Canisius 74. Back after this on a MAAC television network.